Hi crafty friends, Melissa Miner here. Thanks so much for joining me on my YouTube channel. Today it's time to hop. My friends and I get together on the second Friday of every month for a YouTube sketch hop. Here's a look at all the creators that are participating. Be sure to check out the description box below for a playlist where you can watch all of the videos that were created. This is the sketch that we're using today, and this was chosen by Jessica Dupinski over at the Paper Heart, and she gave us the theme of My Favorite. Now you can see here on this sketch, there's lots of hexagons, there's a couple photos. Now I have more photos than the sketch shows. These are the photos I want to use, and this is Dale and I's favorite little restaurant in St. Charles, Missouri called Magpies. We love this place. I'm also going to be using the Simple Vintage Autumn Breeze by Simple Stories. I've got some stickers here, I've got the paper pack, and I also have some ephemera. I might use that. Let's see here. I am also bringing in these hexagon dies. These were from my stash. And then I might be using these from scrapbook.com. These are my favorite fall leaves dies. I can't find the name on them, but I will link all the products that I used today down below in the description box. I'm also thinking about using these flowers, and I have this gorgeous title. This is from Bramble Fox, and this is from their most recent Fox Box Plus, and it says Autumn Stories. I have some Shimmerz paints here because I want to create some mixed media in the background, and the white cardstock I have is a piece of 12 by 12 mixed media cardstock from scrapbook.com. So I've got two paints that I want to use, and this one is an Inklingz, this one is a Shimmerz-Golden Wheat, and then the other one that I have sitting in the pot there is Miner 49er, and it's an Inklingz. Now a Shimmerz is very, very shiny and shimmery, and the Inklingz also has some shine and shimmer to it as well. With the Inklingz, you do have to spray a little bit of water into the pot to activate the color. So I'm just going to let that one sit there for a while. I'm going to paint here with the Golden Wheat. I'm dipping my paintbrush in water. I've also sprayed some water on my background, and I've kind of sped this up because I spend quite a while just adding color. Now a lot of this is going to be covered up, but I really wanted three areas where some mixed media would be peeking through. Now I do want to mention that I am on the Shimmerz Paints design team, so if you ever place an order on the Shimmerz Paints website, you can add my name, Melissa Miner, to the notes section, and Shimmerz will send you a free paint. And you can add my name to every order you place, and each time you'll receive another free paint. While that's drying, I've pulled out some Distress Oxide ink in the color Vintage Photo, and I'm just going to go around the edges of this pattern paper that I pulled from the paper pad to map my photos on. Now I wanted a little more color. When this was drying, I thought it was drying back a little light, so I pulled out another color from Shimmerz Paints, and this is a Color Splash. A Color Splash is a glossy acrylic spray, and this one is a fun one. This is called Penny in Your Pocket. So these are three great colors that I recommend for fall. You could also just paint a whole sheet of this cardstock and then maybe use some dies and cut some leaves from it. I know I've done that before, and it makes for some really pretty ephemera. I'm not doing that today, but that is a great suggestion of how you can incorporate some paints on your other projects. I'm adding a few splatters here, and now that's dried, I want to add a little bit more mixed media, so I'm adding another layer. I've pulled out some TCW modeling paste and then one of my favorite dot stencils. I use this stencil all the time. And this is going to just tone down that color just a little bit and give it a little more interest on the page. So I'm taking my craft spatula here and just spreading some of this modeling paste on. I'm going to bring in my heat tool off camera and I will heat that up. Now I'm going back to the layout in the sketch, and in the sketch there was a pattern paper. I've cut mine to 4 by 10, and I want to kind of layer my photos. Oh, I'm so sorry. Pepper was jumping in to say hello. I've set him down, and I do think he turned my camera a little, so I'm going to do my best to stay on camera here, and then I'll straighten it up after a while. So since I'm not sure exactly where I'm going with this layout yet, I'm going to go ahead and glue my photos to this pattern paper, and then if I need to, I can pick them all up in one piece. I know I need to get those little hexagons on the layout, so I'm not going to glue anything down yet. I want to get my hexagons in place first. Now I'm pulling in the hexagons, and you can see here that die, well, I don't know if you can see too well on the camera, but that die is really nice. It has like stitching around the edges. I love close to my heart dies. I have so many stamps and dies from that company. I miss them so much. But I'm really glad that I have so many great products that I can use forever and ever. Now there are other options to get some hexagon dies. I've seen them over on scrapbook.com and the scrapbook.com brand and others as well. So I used the pattern paper from Simple Stories, that Simple Vintage Autumn Breeze, and I just pulled out several of the pattern papers, and I went ahead and cut some of these hexagons. I apologize for the jiggling of the camera. Pepper was off to the side and knocking my camera mount. He is so helpful to scrapbook. All right, I'm gluing down more of the pieces of the hexagons, and I think I want to go like from the top right down the bottom left, and that looks like it matches up with the sketch. So I'm going to continue gluing down some more of these hexagons. Now I distressed the edges of the pattern paper, both on my the paper I matted my photos on, and also the like plaid paper that I mounted them on below, but I did not distress the edges of the hexagons, and that was because I really wanted that stitching to show. So if you're wondering why some of it has distressed edges and some of it doesn't, that was my thinking behind that. Now I'm adding some liquid tacky glue. Now anytime you have some mixed media on the background, I do recommend using a good liquid glue so that everything stays glued together forever. If you use a tape runner, I promise you it will come up eventually. So I like to just make sure it's going to stay by using tacky glue. I do pick up these little bottles that I put my glue in on Amazon, and then the tacky glue, I just pick up another bottle almost every time I'm in Walmart. It's over in the crafting section. It's a very inexpensive way for glue, and you know, I use a lot of it, so I have to cut costs somewhere. All right, I think I'm going to glue down one more hexagon here, and you know, when Jessica pulled this sketch for us this month, I was thinking, I can't remember a layout where I've used hexagons before. So I was really excited about this design. Now, the photos that I'm scrapbooking are from Magpies. And this is a cute little restaurant in St. Charles, Missouri. And Dale and I like to go eat there. We just discovered this restaurant a couple months ago. And what's really nice is they have this outdoor seating, and they have fans, and you know, people have their dogs, and every table is full. You can see in the top left, that's a little photo of just like the street view and the little sign of the restaurant. But then back behind there, there's all these tables, and that's where you are seated for the restaurant. So I have the photos below of Dale and I just sitting at the restaurant having a good time. He snapped that photo of me laughing. I don't even remember what we were laughing about, but we had a really good time. We call these like our little day dates when we go. It's about 1.5 to 2 hours from our house, and we like to make a little day date of it and go out for lunch and go shopping. Now I'm wanting to add this acrylic title. This is from Bramble Fox. This is from their Fox Box. I do subscribe to their Fox Box Plus. With the Fox Box Plus, you receive these acrylic title pieces, you receive a stencil, and then you also receive some what they call paper snips, which are little images that you can cut apart. I really enjoy being a subscriber. I think the quality of their acrylics is always very good. I've never even had one break yet, and it comes all the way from, I'm not sure, it's another country because it says international shipping when I receive it, but they're always really great quality. All right, so I'm adding that down, and for that I used some Nuvo Deluxe glue to adhere that to my layout. Now I'm bringing in some leaves that I cut from that scrapbook.com leaf die, and I did go ahead and ink the edges with the vintage photo ink, and now I'm adding a little bit of craft foam to the back of these leaves. I'm not sure where I'm going with my embellishments for this layout. I'm just kind of letting it evolve as the layout continues. But I know I want to use these leaves. I think they are gorgeous. And I cut the leaves out of the same pattern paper that I matted my photos on. Back to the story of the restaurant, I do also have 2 photos of what we chose to eat that day. So the photo above me was a half and half, so it was half of a salad and half of a sandwich. I wish I would have wrote down the name of the sandwiches. They are worm sandwiches, and oh my goodness, they are really, really good. I got the half salad with mine, and Dale got the homemade kettle chips with his. So it was just a really, really good meal and lots of fun. All right, there's a couple other acrylic pieces that I want to add to my layout. I've got a couple leaves here from that same Fox box. And so here's another one here. I've got a green one, a couple green ones. Now with the acrylic pieces, you do have to pull off the backing. So that's what you see me using this little tool for. That's just to peel off the backing so that I can glue them down. I'm going to glue this green one down over here to the left. I think it stands out more kind of against this white cardstock. I did ink the edges of my white cardstock off camera. I don't do that very often, but I just thought it would give a little more interest to the page. So again, I used that vintage photo. I cut this little journaling strip from the paper pack, and I journaled Magpies 2025. Now I'm going to start bringing in some little stickers from the sticker sheet, and I'm also going to add some foam to the back. I love this cute little squirrel, and so I'm going to add this down here by Dale. You can see here I am kind of going rogue off the sketch. I did use the sketch for my inspiration. You can see here I have my title up on the left. I do have lots and lots of the hexagons, and I have that strip of pattern paper along the bottom. Other than that, I'm kind of just embellishing as needed. And you know, the sketch only had 2 photos, but I wanted to make sure that I got all 5 photos on my layout. That's something I'm really trying to work on doing, is when I create layouts, adding more than just 1 photo to a page. After creating so many layouts, I have lots of scrapbook albums, and I'm kind of running into the issue of not having enough space. Pretty soon, we're going to have scrapbook albums in every room in our house. I don't know about you, but that's where we're at right now. So I thought to kind of work on a solution that I would start adding more photos to a page. I used to be a double page scrapbooker, but now I find more joy in just creating 1 page. I was set for a while on thinking, you know, when I opened the album and flipped through it, that each page had to match to go in the book, and I don't find that the case anymore. I don't scrapbook in chronological order. I'm inspired by sketches, I'm inspired by paper pads, or maybe it's just a photo that I want to scrapbook. So I just sit and create what I feel like creating, and with that, that means my albums are not in any order. I do put my pages in page protectors, and then I'll go back, and sometime soon I plan on sorting through my pages and maybe trying to put them in more chronological order for these albums. Right now I have kind of like a big trip album. I've got a Tatum album. I've got a Dale and I album. And you know, with our kitty Pepper, I've also started a Pepper album. Since the restaurant has these cute umbrellas at every table, I decided that I would use this umbrella that was on the sticker sheet and add it to the top of the page here because I don't think I would use that umbrella for really anything else. I thought it was perfect for this page, a great opportunity to use that. I know my layout's getting pretty busy. I've got lots and lots of embellishments on here. Not really my normal style, but I'm really liking the way it's coming together, and there's lots of things to look at on this layout. And of course, it's all about creating and documenting your memories. And off camera, I did go in and add some heart stickers, and I added some sequins. So this is a look at the final layout. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, please hit that thumbs up button. If you're new, I hope you'll subscribe and come back. Be sure to follow me on Facebook and on Instagram if you're not already following me there. I'm bringing in the sketch here to see how well I did, and I do think I pulled it off. Be sure to check out the description box for a link to the playlist to see what all of my friends have created. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye!